before we get too far into the weeds on this, I figured I'd show you what holdfast is, what it looks like. There's a lot of different styles, of course, and what it sort of does. So imagine this piece of wood I'm working on. I want to file it, I want to saw it, something I'm doing to it, plane it. But as it is, it's moving all over the place. If I don't have anything to stop it up against or pinch it, like in a vise, it's like, what are my options? Well, one of these things will go into a hole, touch your workpiece, and then with some sharp taps, you get a lot more rigidity. I mean, you can still run it loose, but if you tighten up some more, and there we go. It'll allow me to take a file or a punch or a chisel or whatever tool I'm intending to use to get a better control on it. And I'm hitting the top of this, and then to release it, you could just yank on it. But if it's really tight on there, if you give a sharp little tap on the back, it'll normally kick it out to where you can then remove it and work on your piece and move it around in some other way. Figured it might do some good to, now that you have a demonstration of the holdfast, it's going to do you some good to get a visual of what it's actually happening in it. So we have a hole, and the size hole doesn't matter as much. Obviously, the better fit your holdfast is, or your hole is to the holdfast, the easier time you're going to have with it cinching up properly. I didn't do a very good job actually using the holdfast. It does work. What helps is if your clamping surface is more uniform. That bench that I have, I just beat the snots out of it. Not the ideal place for that. And you can also use more than one if you're finding that you're not able to get a good clamp on your workpiece. So pretend. All right, so bear with me. These dashed sections are our workbench, and this hole here is the hole that the holdfast is going into. This square here is our workpiece. So that what's actually causing that clamping action on your workbench, on your piece, is that holdfast getting wedged at two separate points in the hole. So there's a downward pressure there that's causing the stresses to go that way and that way. Of course, that's causing a downward motion as well. So if you imagine the stress from the hammer blow or from the material here flowing out in this way, down in that way, and then back this way. So that's what's applying pressure onto the workpiece. And then what's holding it in place is the contact points at one point in the hole and the other point of the hole where that shaft is trying to flex and fight back the stresses that are coming from up here. And that's what keeps the thing locked down. So it's almost like putting a spring under tension, the holdfast is. Not quite a spring like a coil that you might think of, but it works off of the stress in the metal. So I've got a pair that are made by a different, I can't remember the name of the company, but they're made out of spring steel. They're really great. I've made a few out of mild steel. They work. You just got to be a bit more persuasive with them. So, but now that you've seen how it works and have maybe a conceptual understanding of how it works, we can get into forging one. All right. Hopefully you can hear me over the sound of this forge going. I have a 1/2-inch piece of steel heating up right now. What we're going to do is we're going to set the tongue of it. We're going to set the angle of the tongue, and then we're going to curve it around the horn. And it shouldn't take too many heats, but you should get a pretty good view of what's happening. What's happening?